Welcome to the Daily Reps Podcast, a Five Forks Athletics podcast that will unpack all things faith, family, and fitness.
The OG guy, Bobby Clarke.
That was a long time ago,
Bobby
man.
Clarke. So originally, tell us, we know that you're not from South Carolina, but maybe not everybody will. So tell us a little bit about where you're originally from and a little bit about that.
Sure.
And what brought you here to the good old Carolina?
Yeah, this is interesting. So I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I moved to New York City, and then I moved to New Jersey. And
City boy.
when I was in New Jersey, I got a job at a company called Sealed Air, and they merged with a company down here called Cryovac.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Duncan.
Yep.
So I was coming down here for 10 years, literally.
Wow.
And they finally said, would you like to move here? And I said, you better believe it. Because I was bringing my northern salary. I had a church home.
Oh,
and it
that's
made
pretty
it
great.
so Easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been coming here for 10 years.
Wow.
In Dune as well.
Yeah.
So it made it really easy.
Oh,
So
my
that's how we
goodness.
got. That was in 2008.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the rest is history,
Yep,
as
yep,
they
yep.
say. Yeah, so, and what church what's the name of your church?
Abiding Peace Lutheran Church. We're over on the corner.
Oh, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, the corner of Batesville and Roper Mountain Road. It's actually a campus. We have a school, Abiding Peace Academy.
You guys have gotten bigger and bigger.
K2 through 8 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll one day be 12 grades.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, you guys just did redid like the parking lot and everything.
Well, we added an addition to the school.
Man, that's
Which
so cool.
was really cool because I was the project manager.
Aw.
Look at that. I had no idea. I was driving by that every day.
Yeah.
That is cool.
How did you hear about them, or how did you start going there?
Well, again, we were traveling here,
Mm-hmm.
and every now and then we'd be here over the weekend. And went to church there.
That's so
Because
cool.
it's part of the synod that we belong to. We had the same church in New Jersey, but
Oh, wow.
that made it really easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you had a church home. You knew you could afford the housing and everything. And then what about how did CrossFit get into there, though?
In 2013, I had started doing personal training at Sports Club,
Okay.
and
Which is right down the street, but is
Yeah.
no longer called that for some reason.
Right. And actually, what happened? My doctor, for years and years, was saying, "You got to get off the couch. You got to do something right." So I finally did. I did the personal training, and I was going into that gym every day, almost every day, doing whatever, right? And I went home that summer, and I stayed with my brother and sister-in-law, and she came home from a workout one day, and I goes, "Oh, where were you?" And she said, "I'm on a CrossFit gym." So she told me all about it, and when I came back here, I started looking around, and the next thing I know, there's a sign on up on Woodruff Road.
Wow.
This gym is opening up. So I waited until they were open, and that's how my CrossFit journey started.
What was your first impression, when you first walked in the door?
I don't really remember that, but what I can tell you is I took to it right away because of the group sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I never lifted a barbell in my whole life, and that was the first time I did that, which was really cool. And it was so new, we didn't have to onboard.
Yeah.
We
That's
just
fun.
joined in,
You just
and
we got members.
It was really cool. Yeah, it was really fun. But I took right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool because I tell people, and I think we've all probably told someone at some point, one of the great things about CrossFit is you can just, it's like a universal language. It doesn't matter where you go. If there's a CrossFit gym and you've done CrossFit, you have built-in community. And you can just go there.
Yeah.
But of course, you have to start somewhere. But once you do, and someone asks, where do you live? Oh, yeah, I do. I'm going to go to this CrossFit place. Oh, that's great. And you make connections that way. And it's so funny that you said your sister just came home. What did she look like? Was she like, oh, that was so great? Did she
she was soaked. She was really sweating. This was in the summertime.
Sounds about right.
So then you were like, oh, I gotta
check it out.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
And I looked around a couple gyms around here, and then the next thing I know, this one was opening. So, but to your point, I think the CrossFit experience for everybody, there's a uniqueness to it.
Yeah.
But the commonality is the community, which
Yeah.
is the really cool part.
Mm-hmm. I agree. What are some of your favorite memories from some of those earlier years, some of the very first years? Because you were one of the very first people to walk through the gym doors.
Day 3.
Day 3. Tell us about day 3.
Dang.
Again, that's my memory of that is meeting Jonathan and signing the waiver and signing up and.
Were you nervous, or were you like, let's go?
No, I don't think I was nervous at all.
Were we using Wodify then?
Yeah.
So that's why
I could go back and look at my
you're the
first
one
workout.
who has the longest Wodify logins or most Wodify logins.
I'm like 250 sessions higher than anybody else.
Yeah, well, yeah, day 3 would do that. My goodness.
Yeah.
But I came and I signed in every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is important. You need to sign if you're a part of this gym or a part of another gym.
Sign in.
Sign in. Track your progress.
To the old
11 and a half years. He knows.
Get them dedicated T-shirts.
That's true. You get them dedicated T-shirts. So you started CrossFit around 2013, which was like when it was really blowing up. I remember that.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you started getting in competing. Like why'd you make the switch to competing? Because you were just you just started, and then now you're starting to compete.
I started following CrossFit online, and I started seeing there's masters groups.
Yeah.
And there's competitions. I can't remember the first one I did. It was an online thing I did.
Really?
But then I was just getting better. When we would come in on Saturday workouts, I would make sure I would partner up with somebody who was younger than me, so I could work
Look at
really,
you.
really hard. And I just progressed and just kept getting better and really enjoying it. And I found out about the garage games.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was for masters.
Yeah.
And I did the local comp here every year. There was one over in Travelers Rest that I did. And every year I would actually end up going to the national championship.
Wow.
Well, there weren't say in my age group.
You don't have to say that. Just say that. We'll cut that out.
Well,
Every
yeah.
year you went to the national championship.
Yeah. And I would podium.
That's awesome, Bobby.
Look at you.
So cool.
I have all my medals at home.
Why didn't you bring one of your medals?
You should have.
Next time we have you on, you have to bring your
You've got
medals.
to bring your medals.
Yeah.
So we got a trophy sitting on the table. Tell us a little about that trophy and the history, the story behind the trophy.
I think it was 15. I don't exactly remember the year, but it was the first time we did a competition in the gym, the old gym.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And it was individual. And it was, I forget, Jonathan must have programmed the workouts, but.
Do you remember any of the workouts?
No, I don't. I have a lot of photographs. The only thing I really remember so much is we ran in the back of the building. It was all that land in the back.
Yeah.
And we ran back there, which we never did before.
What we should totally do is you send us some pictures, and we can have them actually edited into this
we can
kind
do that for
of
sure.
showing during this video.
It's interesting when the 10th year anniversary was coming up, I started to go through all my photographs.
Yeah.
So I have them by year.
That's
so I
so
have
cool.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta send them our way.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sent me a few of them before.
Well, there we go. So you competed, you were doing a ton of competitions, and then, but why you've stuck around? What has made you stick around for 11 and a half years?
I enjoy it. I mean, it's just really keeping me fit and healthy. The camaraderie with everybody. It's my DNA.
Yeah. Wow.
You form a family with.
Even now, I'm in pretty bad shape as far as things going on with my back and stuff, but I'm here.
Yeah. Why do you keep coming? It'd be really easy for someone to just say, "My back's messed up. I just got to do something else."
Because it's keeping me healthy. It's keeping me out of the doctor's office. It's pretty much. It's keeping me healthy.
Yeah.
And I like the work. I like doing it.
Yeah.
How do you think that your training has changed over the years throughout injuries and pains and different things like that?
So I have to chuckle because when you put that question to me ahead of time, and you phrased it so like when you became a master, and I've always been a master.
You started as a master.
That is true.
I was 63.
I didn't think about that.
That's so funny.
No, but anyways, again, I trained hard because I wanted to do the competitions. I wanted to perform well. And that was just always my goal to go as hard as I could.
Yeah.
And till I can't anymore. I got to tell you, in 2022, I trained with Ashley and Rachel and Matthew and Jonathan and Jake and Ben.
Yep.
For three months at least. because I was competing in a national competition, and I
remember
wanted
that,
to. I
Bobby.
wanted to do well, right?
Yep.
And everybody was older than me.
Wow.
Well, no, everybody was younger than me.
Yeah.
Except for one guy. But I ended up finishing third.
Nice.
And the guys that beat me were a lot younger than me.
Wow.
They were in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
60s. I'm
Yeah.
73 or something. You know?
Get out of here. You're not 73.
But after that, I trained so hard, it really just tore me up.
Yeah.
I'm never doing this again.
Had to recover.
He retired.
Yeah.
He retired from competition.
But I still, I still had that desire to be here every day.
Yeah.
Man, I remember that time. That was like leading up to when I was pregnant with my youngest, Ellie. And we would train like 2.5 hours a day. We'd have like an
Wow.
hour or so of strength and then 1 or 2 metcons, some gymnastics, some accessory
Yeah, mayhem.
work.
It was mayhem compete we were doing.
Yeah, I was literally pregnant, and that was the best shape that I've ever been
Yeah,
in.
me
It's
too.
like, oh man, to
You know
have
what?
that time to train like that.
I got 3 PRs then. I got a PR on my front squat,
What was it?
240, I think.
Whoa.
I got a PR on my back
Dang.
squat, which was 210 maybe or something.
Yeah. Wait, your
And-
front squats was stronger than your back squat?
No, my back squat was 240.
Oh, what was your? Your front squat.
My front
okay,
squat was
okay.
like 210, I think.
Okay.
And a
And your
deadlift,
deadlift.
225.
Get out.
No, it was
Yeah.
325.
Or 325.
Yeah,
You
don't-
remember.
Yeah, I got a video of
Yeah,
it.
because
remember?
Jonathan stuck weights on there without
that you
telling
didn't
me.
know. He really did.
That's a good coach.
We'll have to pull up that video
That's
too.
a good coach.
We made a little reel out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, so-
325. Don't sell
Okay,
yourself short
let's-
100 pounds.
The video is probably going to be playing somewhere on screen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Jonathan did. He snuck on those plates, and you
That's
didn't
so
know.
fun.
And
That was
So
great.
strong.
It was probably the best time I ever had doing CrossFit.
Wow.
mm-hmm.
So
Because
what?
I was with all these really awesome athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Well,
enjoyed being with you.
I mean, they are pretty amazing, all of them. So what about? I mean, you're going to your church now. You're doing CrossFit. Like, how do you see the bridge between the two? You know, you've got your church community, you've got your CrossFit community. What bridges it? What are the similarities? Stuff like that.
The bridging is that there's a lot of Christians in this gym.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bridge.
Yeah. Is that? I mean, you've done CrossFit. You said your first exposure was this gym, but
Yeah.
you've probably dropped into other gyms or been a part of other
I
ones.
think maybe 30 or 40.
Okay. Does it feel like, can you like when you're in here, you feel that difference of there's more Christians in this gym than when you've been in other places, or?
No, it's because I've been here for so long.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But I'm not really sure how else to answer that. You know, it's interesting. I spend more time here than I do at church. But most
good point.
of us do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
true.
know, but I am committed at my church. I'm on our board.
Nice.
I've
Well, you
been
were
serving on our
project
board.
manager for the
Yeah,
extension.
well, you know, I mean, they needed it was better for me to do it. Like we had a GC
Yeah.
and we had an architect. Sorry,
There you go.
And I was more or less the liaison for the church,
Yeah.
keeping the other people. Like my pastor didn't need to be involved every
Yeah.
day. So, but that was a great experience. I learned a lot.
You were one of those people that leaders in churches pray for.
Yes.
Like,
You know, it's interesting
Boy, skill
because
set. We need that.
all my life, somehow or other, I've been in some sort of leadership
Yeah.
position.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I volunteer sometimes.
Yeah.
People single me out.
I think. I mean, when I've only been here, I don't even know if it's even been 2 years yet. But I feel like I noticed that when I came here, it's not a seniority of age, it's a seniority of maturity when I was interacting with you,
Thank
which is
you.
something that I think plays into what you're talking about with your faith, is like it leads to that. You have a different level of maturity as a result. But what I want to know, because you don't get that type of maturity without discipline, right? So like what are your daily disciplines? We see what they are here, right? You come to the gym, you coach, you do all that. But like what's your daily discipline in your faith?
First thing I do in the morning is grab my cup of coffee, and I have 3 different meditation and books that I read.
Nice.
It's all scripture based.
Yeah.
And
what are your books? What are you reading right now?
Oh no, they're actually it's one of them's published by our synod. It's meditations, and so it's different scriptures every week, and the pastors write the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So there's what they write about the scripture, and I have one called Faith Alone that was written by Martin Luther, and it's a daily. And so I read that every day,
Yeah,
every
I love
year.
that.
And I have one that's written by one of our pastors in Texas that I read every day.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That is really cool.
And I have some other things that I periodically will read as well.
Yeah.
But then I follow up. I'd rather pray after because the Word gives me more, I think, that I can add to my prayers.
Amen.
Yeah. That's cool, Bobby.
And then the rest of the day is whatever. It's based on what time I'm coaching, what time I'm working out. And, it's pretty mundane.
Yeah. What do you feel like is your favorite part about getting to coach here? Because you've been coaching. So you started coming day 3. When did you start?
Then you started competing.
Yeah, then you started competing. When
Yeah.
did you start coaching? What year was that? I can't remember.
2017. I retired in 2017, and as soon as I retired, I got my L1
Yeah.
and I started coaching.
Yeah. I think,
So-
I remember that.
You
Can't
and I
do,
are
you
probably
coach.
the longest tenured coaches here. I'm
For
eight,
sure.
I'm
Mhm.
8 years now, at least.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So, Bobby, what is a fun fact about you?
This was really the fun facts. The people that know me the best know this, but I had to put an ad in the local paper up in New Jersey for a desktop technician, and that's how I got my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, was that like the Pina Coladas song, but it was for desktop physicians?
So I managed 2 buildings, and I needed desktop technicians, right?
Technician.
And so I put an ad in the local paper up there in New Jersey, and I got a stack of resumes like you wouldn't believe. Most of the people were not even near qualified, but Dune was one of the resumes, and she had a good resume.
Name.
So
Love that
I
name.
had her come in, and I interviewed her, and it was like there was sparks flying already.
Oh,
That is so sweet.
But anyways, real quick. So when it came time to hire, my boss said he wanted to hire this person because this other gal had more experience. She had some different experience than Dune. And so I called this gal up and I say, we'd like to hire you and this is your salary. And she said, well, Mr. Clarke, I want a little more money. So I went back to my boss and he goes, who's next on the list? And it was
You're like-
Dune.
you're like, well, Dune is.
That is so sweet.
Gosh.
I love that.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I can't believe I hadn't heard that one yet.
If you like fixing computers.
I don't go around telling people, It's
That
just,
is so sweet.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 daughters. They're
Okay.
both grown up.
Okay. Do they do CrossFit?
Allie does.
Good.
Yeah, she's an amazing athlete.
Okay.
She's not now a master's. She's 35.
What about your other?
She's Jordan. They were both gymnasts
Okay.
all through grade school and high school, and so they always had that athletic ability. When Allie found out what I was doing, she checked it out and
That's
she
super
had to
cool.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys ever do a workout
Oh
together?
yeah, a few times.
Did you do a competition
She's
together?
Been here. No.
We got a video of that too. I think you just
she's
shared
been-
it on your
yeah,
story
she,
not too
she's
long
been
ago.
here a couple times. And Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, she's trained gymnastics.
Wow.
Right now, she's not doing any of that kind of training, but she's very active as far as that goes.
Do you have any grandkids?
No, nobody's married.
I was about to say, come on,
Allie,
get those grandkids in here.
well, Allie has a boyfriend now, 7 months, so we'll see. Who
Nice.
does
Do you-
who
do you
does
like him?
CrossFit?
He does CrossFit?
I haven't met him yet.
Okay, we gotta get
We got to get him in on a Saturday morning workout, and we'll all vet him.
Yeah.
I'll partner with him.
He's pretty good athlete.
Never
too.
mind, I won't partner
That's
with him. I don't need
Don't sell yourself short.
to.
You're a
Oh,
good
I'll sell
athlete
it
too,
very
Joel.
short. Oh my gosh.
Which one was it, Allie or Jordan that came and did the gymnastics here?
So Jordan
Did a gymnastics
she's
workshop.
done.
Oh, she did a seminar? Like
She
a,
did
wow.
two. She's been here twice.
Mm-hmm.
Handstand
Ooh,
workshop.
I could use
So she's really good at that.
that. Yeah.
And the purpose of her training is to get people who are just even afraid to become inverted upside
Yes.
down,
Mm-hmm.
and then to work with the folks who are really skilled at it.
So that's actually a really good kind of like segue into that. I mean, there's a lot of skills in CrossFit. It is so mental.
Yeah,
Like, what do you feel like was the hardest thing for you to get in CrossFit?
double unders.
Double unders? Oh, yeah? Why were double unders the hardest?
I just couldn't get them,
That's funny.
and it was probably mental. I maybe got 8 or 10 in a row at some point.
Gosh.
I gave up.
You gave up? No, Bobby, don't say that.
Look, I don't give up too many things.
Double unders were the thing that broke you. I will say double unders were not fun
But I
to
can
get.
I can do singles. This is really cool. When I was at that competition in Fort Wayne 2022, I had to do 100 single unders with one of those crazy heavy.
Oh, like the weighted ropes?
Yeah, and I had never picked one up before.
Did you do 100 unbroken?
I got 100 broken.
Oh, yes, you did.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was crazy.
That's awesome.
That's when you know you're fit. Look at you.
So do you have any routine, like recovery things that you
No.
do? Do you?
I really had to think about that. No, I mean, a lot of times now, because I try to go as hard as I can,
Yeah.
it just takes me about an hour just to
Just to
back
get going.
normal. And it's hard for me
man.
to do any kind of stretching now because I've got these issues going on with my lower back, and I got some sciatica, and I can't even get into some of these situations to stretch anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my stretching is very limited. I could probably do better, but
That's fair.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done have you done cold plunges, sauna, stuff like that?
Yeah, I always did cold plunge.
Good
Started
cold plunge.
doing cold plunge out at Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He
Shout
had-
out Rocky.
Yeah, and when Jonathan put the one in here, I took to it right
Oh,
away.
I
I
love
would
cold
get in
plunge.
3 to 5 minutes maybe.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
But since my surgery, I have not been in, but I'm starting in the sauna again.
Okay,
I
nice.
love the sauna, yeah.
No, you guys love the sauna. I could sit in the cold plunge for forever. The sauna
Really?
makes me feel like I'm going to pass out.
Well, I
worse.
think I don't get into the cold plunge anymore because of some of the sensations that goes on in my arms and legs.
That's not fun. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's your favorite workout?
I don't have a favorite workout.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
Do you have
but
a
I
favorite
do-
movement?
A
No,
non-answer.
No,
Yeah.
I have an answer.
Okay.
I love high intensity, short duration workouts.
So
Okay.
Friday. So that's what our conversation we had about last Friday's workout. You're like, I love that workout.
Because I can go really hard.
Yeah.
And so I like those kind of work. I always have.
Yeah.
Always.
For those of you who don't know, we did a workout this past Friday. It was 10 rounds for time, three deadlifts at 275, and 30 double unders.
Well, mine weren't at
And
275.
you just went, but you did it like
624.
yeah.
6 something.
yeah,
Goodness
it was so
gracious.
fast. Same thing. I love it. You don't think, you just turn off your brain and go.
You just move. You
Holy
stop. You
smokes.
put the weight down here. You pick up the rope.
Yeah,
You
you just pick it up,
keep
put it
going.
down. Yeah, it's
You
great.
just get the work
But
done.
you know what's good is I've been eating really healthy, and that's been helping me a whole lot.
Jonathan, he's been doing your nutrition.
Yeah.
How's that been
Formula.
going?
Good. I put on about 20 pounds
Of
after
muscle.
my surgery. No, this is after my surgery,
Oh.
and I needed to lose it because I couldn't fit into my pants anymore,
Oh.
and I wasn't buying new clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So I worked with Jonathan once before, and it was very successful. So we teamed up again, and I'm down 13 pounds now.
Dang,
So I can fit. I can
awesome,
fit it. I can
Bobby.
fit into my pants.
There you go.
And probably just feel.
Oh, I feel great
Better.
because of the way I'm eating.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Do you have like some go-to meals that you do throughout the week, or are you big on meal prepping, or?
Well, we started to do a little meal prepping, but I really like to eat rice. I love baked potatoes.
Mm.
I'll buy
Ooh.
lean pork chops,
Okay, yeah.
and some try to find some steaks that don't have a lot of fat.
Mm.
But asparagus, Brussels sprouts, no Brussels sprouts, broccoli, those kind of things. But last Sunday we did do some meal prep tonight.
Nice.
Okay, how's
Yeah.
that?
Good. Made a lot of chicken, made a lot of peppers, cooked them up, put them in the fridge.
So here's a question. You bring up Dune a lot, and you say, it's very obvious that you love her and
Oh,
that
yeah,
she means
she's
the world
awesome.
to you. So some people that are in the gym, their spouse might not be the one working out. Like they might be one half is like all in. Some we have couples and entire families that work out. Like what was for you and Dune, especially when you started CrossFit? Did she ever join you? What did she think about it? And then what's it now? What's her relationship with it?
This is how that worked. At first, she wasn't really sure about what I was doing, because a lot of people don't know CrossFit.
Yeah,
is.
it's true.
Yeah.
They just think you're just going to
But
hurt
after
yourself.
a while, she knew how much I loved it, and it was fine. And she wanted to do it as well. So I trained her in our garage for a year and a half.
That's so cool.
Yep.
A year and a half, literally. And
Yeah.
then I just said, you know what, Dune, you have to come up to the gym now.
Yeah.
So she was here for maybe 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And she did really good. I
she
feel
was-
like she's a natural
Well,
athlete.
she was a dancer.
Okay.
And
that makes
so
sense.
she knows her body really well.
Yeah.
And training her was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her form was always really
Right.
good.
And she has the mobility.
Yeah, she would get on me. No, you're yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was easy to train her, and she was really, I mean, almost every day.
Would y'all get competitive?
No, not really. Maybe every now and then we'd do a partner workout, together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's, I think we'll see her in here again.
Yeah, there we go, Dune.
I miss
I know you're going to be watching this, so you heard it from him.
Yep.
Yeah. But she's great.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
she was a professional dancer.
That
Wow.
is so cool.
So you just have athletes in your entire family, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so.
Huh.
Neat.
That's awesome. I love it. Bobby, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
My
to
pleasure.
have you. We're gonna have to have you back on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to talk more about some of those competitions you
I
did
know.
at
I
some
feel
point.
like there's just so much history and so
Yeah.
much to unpack here, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely thankful for you. Thankful to know you, and thankful to have you as part of the gym family.
Yeah, being a part of Five Forks Athletics, CrossFit, has been just the most amazing
Yeah.
experience. In my bio, you can see where I wrote, "Never in my life did I expect fitness to be
Yeah.
something that I would be doing." Right, and
Yeah.
God is really, really, He's really good, and He guides your paths, in
Mhm.
ways that you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's how I got here. So,
Yeah.
and I'm among friends, which is
Yeah.
really, really great.
And you do so well. I mean, it's awesome just seeing how people, your classes respond to you, which has been so fun. And then just like I love how some people can think, oh, you might be a stickler, but we got to start on time. We got to make sure things are out of the way. But one of the things that
I'm like that.
But I love that because you always keep in front of the members the fact that they are important in your class. And I think that's one of the reasons why your members who go to your classes love you, because they know when the hour starts, I am all that Bobby is concerned about.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool. And another reason why Five Forks succeeds, because we
Yeah.
have coaches that like that might be more of what people see in you than another coach, and not bad or good. It's just like, hey, this is what I know without a doubt. This is what
Yeah.
Bobby cares about.
Did you hear that, 9:30?
Yeah,
He loves you guys.
he does. And maybe you need to stop complaining.
If you had one piece of advice to give to someone that's like thinking about joining a community, but maybe they're scared because of some of the movements or scared because of their age, what advice would you give them?
So I actually just did that recently, and I would just tell people, look, this is hard, all right, but keep coming because you'll get better at it. You'll notice the gains and the performance is going to get better, and you'll just get better at it. And the fact that you'll make lifelong friends
Yeah.
if you keep coming
So
in here
true.
is just such a bonus.
Yeah, and it can be challenging, but we also are really good at making things fun.
Well, it's challenging even for us who have been
Yeah.
doing it forever.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not wrong.
But nothing worth having. What's the saying? Nothing worth having is ever easy.
True,
Yeah.
and that is so true.
What a line.
No, that's true.
Cha cha cha.
But that's the way. Can you like that bullhorn? Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
you're funny.
What? Okay. Last question. If you could PR any lift, just go outside right now, PR the lift, and hit a certain weight, what would it be? What's the lift and what's the weight?
It would be a clean.
Okay.
Ooh, I love
What
a
would the
good
weight
clean.
be? No jerk, just the clean?
Okay, it would be a clean and then a clean and jerk.
Okay.
160.
Ooh, complex.
160. All right.
My PR way back was I think it's either 145 or 155.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
All right. Well, there we go.
Oh,
Maybe,
I
hey,
love a good
you know
clean
what?
jerk.
The Lord might make it happen. Who knows? Won't He do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't He do it?
We'll see.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for coming
Man.
on.
My pleasure.